I've had a lot of you guys asking me about this fragrance. I'm late to the game, that's obvious, but still I get comments from so many of you guys saying, Justin, what do you think of the new BLEU Chanel L'Exclusif? Well, they sent it to me. So I'm gonna give you a no nonsense video. But obviously you can see this is very unofficial. This is not my typical setup. I'm just gonna give it a spray, give you my first impressions. Let's see. All right, so we got this semi-cube shaped bottle. I actually like it. I do like the look of it. Magnetic cap. Okay, yeah, it's definitely resembling the original BLEU Chanel DNA. It does have this blue quality, this freshness, this cleanliness, but the parfum version of BLEU Chanel is the only other one I currently own. This does feel like perhaps an even more heavy or rich or a deeper version of that. I'd say the direction that this is going makes it feel a little bit less like BLEU Chanel than some of the others. It's almost getting a little further away from it, but still being undeniably tied to it. I'm fine with that. It has the same type of almost oily, rich, woody base that I get out of Dior Sauvage Elixir. There's a lot of weight here while still being pretty fresh. I would say as far as a mainstream designer fragrance goes, I find it quite interesting. I find it great quality. I find it just well put together. I can see this being very pleasant, but is it special? That's the question to ask when you're gonna drop the money that this costs for a designer fragrance. I'm not gonna say it's any more special than the previous versions, at least for now with my first impressions. I like it. I like what I'm getting because I do like the BLEU Chanel DNA. My favorite is the Parfum, but if you have any of them, I don't know if it really warrants a purchase. If you don't have any of them, then you're in luck. I would recommend going to your nearest department store where they probably carry all of them and try all of them and see which one you like most and get one of them. And I'm sure you guys already know, maybe you've heard the same, maybe you feel the same as this, but I've heard some fairly negative feedback about this fragrance, almost saying that it just didn't smell good or just had some element to it that wasn't very pleasant, but also hearing that maybe it's just not that interesting, maybe it's kind of boring, and maybe it's a little redundant. I wouldn't necessarily call it redundant. Again, it does kind of separate itself a little bit, and I wouldn't say anything about it is unpleasant, but it just doesn't get all the way there for me in terms of its specialness, in terms of an X factor of some kind. At least first impressions that I'm getting in the air around me up close in these first handful of minutes. Yeah, I can easily say that I like what I'm smelling. However, if I had went to the store and smelled this myself, I probably would not have bought it, at least not for this price. I'm happy that it was sent to me. I'm happy to get to know it better and maybe to present it in a way that's more in-depth and maybe can give you just more value. But the best recommendation I could say right now is go into a store and try it because it's most likely available near you. See for yourself what you think, especially if you don't have any of them. I'm actually curious about the notes. So as expected, all they give us is amber, woody notes, labdanum, and sandalwood. We know that that is not an accurate or at least complete description because there are other elements in here that make it smell like the original BLEU Chanel, and just those four alone would not accomplish that. So maybe these are some of the main standout new additions to the profile as far as proportioning goes that are giving it the character that it has, and it does line up for me. I do get a deep, resinous, woody, slightly sweet, warm, rich, broad scent profile underneath, but also taking over the typical clean blue quality of the original DNA. Final verdict, at least first impressions wise, worth trying, worth sampling, not complete garbage, well done, but maybe not special. But obviously you be the judge. And if you've tried it, I want to know what you think of BLEU Chanel L'Exclusif.